had a quick chat, so I learned how to say her name. Is Tracy with us?
I'm right here.
Oh, hi, Tracy. How are you? Sorry, didn't get
Hi,
to.
hi,
So,
hi.
so I would like to start by both of you ladies who are doing amazing in the space of sustainable fashion, in truly making fashion sustainable in that space. So, I would like for both of you to give a quick brief as to what you guys are doing, so that everyone else can know about you, and then we can take it from there.
Sure. I guess I'll go first. My name is Tracy. I have more than 10 years in fashion, from design to merchandising to product development and production. So I'm more from the traditional side of fashion, understand the whole dynamic of its waste, not just post-consumer, but also all the pre-consumer waste. And with my startup, I'm using virtual reality 3D to replace some of the physical aspects along that supply chain to reduce waste from that end.
Awesome. So, Marta, if you could now go and give a quick brief, and I have some very interesting questions for both of you, since both of you have a lot of experience in that space. So, looking forward to learning from you.
Sure. So I've been working in fashion industry also for a while, almost 20 years now. I'm stopping counting. It's scary. And I've been working, I've got worldwide experience, including exposure to fashion shows. The industry is changing, and that was what motivates me to start exploring the boundaries of how technology can motivate us to drive a change to more responsible fashion consumption. And I do have actually computer science background. That was my first studies 20 years ago as well. And I started the project called iClide, when we are concentrating on how and which technological innovation can drive sustainable fashion consumption. And I also have been researching for last 5 years how game mechanism can motivate us towards more sustainable or more responsible fashion consumption. And currently I'm developing a game on the subject, which is my first game, and it's super excited. And I used to be a gamer, so I really believe in the potential of games, that it can bring change. So let's see.
Amazing to be amongst two such bright women as yourselves. So I would like to start this conversation by throwing out a question which I had recently been reading on a lot, and I'm sure both of you have firsthand experience on it. Metaverse in within fashion industry is the newest thing that is being talked about, right? So I would love for both of you to give your views as to how much do you think that has consumed the fashion industry space, and where do you think the fashion industry is going in terms of going virtual, with now even big brands like Gucci coming into the space. What do you think is the future of virtual fashion for a brands, and then in the gaming space particularly?
Who's going
Um,
first? Go ahead.
you want to go first? Should I start?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, it's a quite complex question, and there is actually many things going into it. So I don't think metaverse consume fashion per se. I think there is still a far way to go. But the skins and dressing your avatars, it's not really new. It's if you were playing FIFA and other sports game, the brands used to go into this space a while ago. It is now with roadblocks that the kids really meeting in the metaverses, and they want to show to the fellow players and friends, and spending money to create this world. But still, they are dressing in real clothes, right? We're not wearing potato bags, but we need to wear real clothes. I believe why Gucci and other luxury brands are going into space. It's amazing marketing tactic as well. They don't want to grow old with the old market. They're going where the young customers are, and they do have, even if they are not earning money yet because they are too young, the parents are spending money. And I think most of the parents are who've got teenage kids, they do spend a little bit of those skins. When we're looking at sustainability, for example, there is a huge potential when we're looking at digital clothes and digital designs as well. We can think about sample designing, that we don't need to ship the product all around the world. It's just much simpler. So there is many courses being created in this space as well, fashion courses. I think because not, all the innovation in fashion was really facilitated as well because of the current situation, right? The pandemic, and we were stuck at home. Most of the people start dressing more comfy and then showing off a little bit more online. So this is what's matter for us: digital makeup, a little bit digital clothes. It's like showing yourself on social networks. You've got few personalities. So I think, when we think about Instagram, for example, when the influencer were showing the outfit of the day and then throwing it away or returning or doing whatever, now they can wear digital clothes, which is still much more sustainable. So we can think about it in this way. But there's many different consumer around the world. Digital clothes is still a niche. There is so many people that never heard about it, that are not, there's a lot of players and gamers, but it's also depends where you're looking around the world, to which target market you want to apply. So it will be bigger than it is now, and it has huge potential, but I don't think it's consumed the current market yet.
Thank you so much.
I have to agree. Yeah, I have to agree with what Martha was saying. As of right now, the metaverse is still in its infancy, or maybe I can use the word fetus. Like to say, like with the fashion industry, digital clothing, virtual samples. I can, I can confidently say maybe 95% of the fashion industry are still working on the very old model with Photoshop and Illustrator when they do like samples and whatnot. It's the very new generation, the very new technology aware group that is starting to take notice of digital fashion and its potential into the metaverse. But as of right now, everything is still very niche. It's still very, it has a really big market potential for right now, but maybe in the future, when the metaverse does get to the point where it reached economies of scale, and a lot of people are like in the metaverse and have the parallel life, not just like fashion being a parallel to the physical world, but maybe in every single other aspect of life, such as buying and selling real estate in the metaverse. Then yes, then a lot more possibilities can open up. So that's that's what I'm thinking right now. Probably maybe another 6-7 years until we like we get there.
Yeah, agreed. So one very interesting thing that I was reading up the other day, there is a brand that has actually taken digital clothing to a whole new level when it comes to sustainability. And what they do is they launch their line in a digital version. Their photo shoot is done on the model, that there's a digital clothes. They don't even produce that one piece to do the photo shoot. And they market it, and once the orders start coming in, that is when they start producing the clothes on pre-orders, so hence no wastage, right? So a lot of sustainability in itself has become such a in the fashion industry, since fashion industry is the second biggest polluter of fresh water in the world. It has become such a big problem that the solutions are being looked for in small niches, so that a difference could be made in this particular space. And the one thing that has really come up is digital fashion. So again, as you were talking about influencers, yes, a lot of influencers are now wearing digital clothes for marketing, for brands as well. So where do you think is what do you think is in it for the brands, and how they can benefit years if they adopt this, and what will those brands not be gaining who don't adopt this trend in the coming 5 to 7 years?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so what you just mentioned is actually two solution innovation that came together, right? One is digital fashion to allow the end consumer to see the collection without having to hold, something physical with their hand, and then they buy. On the other end, that it's the on-demand manufacturing. That's also another trend in the fashion industry that is pushing sustainability or pushing fashion towards a more sustainable future. So this is like two solutions coming together. With the metaverse, I'm sure a lot of gamers here have already heard of MetaHuman, Adobe's like capability to mimic a real human being to photorealism. How I see it is that like within the fashion sphere, fitting is one of the major problems, and it creates a lot of waste pre-consumer side as well as post-consumer. Um, a possibility route for fashion brands to have actual utility in the metaverse is have the customer be able to fit on their clothing with their digital twin, make sure that like the garments and everything fit, and then of course like and then you buy with the on-demand production. That's one way I see that would have actual utility to solve a big problem in fashion.
Yeah, very smart idea. Marta?
Yes, yes. Well, I think, we do not need to produce any new clothes because we've got so much. But there is, the countries who are really dependent on it, right? They do have all the manufacturers, all the people that are skilled. And we really need to think about it because everyone is thinking for sustainability reason. It's like to have shorter supply chain to produce local. But current fashion system is huge and it's really global industry. So just to forget about those countries who really depends on creating. We really have to be empathetic and have this in mind as well. Not moving everything to digital. That's the problem also. Why is it going so slow? For example, with buying first the digital product and then producing it, because the manufacturers are not prepared to make just one garment, right? They're huge factories. So that this is what we need to take into mind, as well. So the sustainability is such a huge word. It's like that's why I decided to concentrate a little bit more on responsible fashion as a consumer myself, because I just can't tackle all the supply chain places. It's really complex. So it is important, and that's why many companies are going and moving so slow, because it's not just one thing which can be really a buzzword and going to metaverse and creating digital samples, because there is all the infrastructure and people salaries depends on it, and that's why it's so slow.
Based on the conversation we were just having, do you guys feel by any chance that because digital fashion, it is also giving new designers space to start their own lines without having to inject a lot of money? So do you feel like are the clothes going digital and fashion going digital is also creating a lot of opportunities for new designers as well? And again, because of the fact that they're being the clothes being digital, it provides so much space for creativity for designers as well, since there are no laws of physics, nothing else attached. So you can, just unleash your imagination. So do you feel like this is a good thing for upcoming fashion designers, giving them more room to maybe show off their creativity and reach out to the fashion world and consumers with their art?
It depends which designers you are looking at. There are some really skilled designers, but they do work with their hands. They do not have the computer skills, and they're really anti-talented when it comes to computer, for example.
Yes.
That could be a problem. And also when you think about something completely out of the space, like dress from water, for example, it does have completely different physics. It is different clientele. There are different customers for it than the people who are buying clothes just for practical reason, right? So, and they're looking for the quality of fabric and stuff like this. So I wouldn't mix it too much. I think there are two parallel ways. And of course it can, like all the artists, using digital art, they can go really creative. And now with NFTs, they can earn a little bit more. But remember that NFTs, it's a lot about community building as well. Uh, so so yes and no. It depends which designers are you talking about, because I think there is a lot of lacking skills, and actually now a lot of not fashion designers who were taught as fashion designers at school, and they know how to cut a fabric and sew and stuff like this. They don't have these skills to design in digital space.
Yeah.
True, true. And this is an opportunity for fashion schools to maybe incorporate this as a course during maybe the fashion program.
Yeah, there are the London College of Fashion. They are being implemented the course of clothes redesign, but it's going so fast that even the teachers, the lecturers have to educate themselves, right? So it haven't been available 3 years ago. So, and you need a little bit of time, and you need to be a little bit geeky to enjoy designing in all those programs. And spend your time in front of the screen, in front of the screen, instead of working on the mannequin or a model or the table.
Yeah, I'm actually very careful on the word fashion designer, because fashion designer design clothing for people to wear. There's an actual utility to it, right? If you're talking about designer that's only designing fashion in the digital space, I would call them digital artists or maybe content creator, unless unless they actually know garment construction, like how to fit something correctly, where the correct seams and darts goes, right? So it's a totally different training and school of thought. But yes, I believe that, like if there's a course that combines the both, a complete understanding behind game creation, digital creation versus, I mean, also the like, and also the fabrication, like garment construction, everything, that would be, getting the students ready for the next stage of the fashion industry. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's very important because as we move forth, as brands move towards this, all of the graduates would also need to be very well aware of this space in order to progress in their own particular careers as well, even if they don't want to start a line of their own. So yeah, so I feel like, okay, yeah, we have 1 minute left. So I would love for both of you to give any parting note as to where you guys see your brands going and where you want to take your businesses and how you want to make an impact in sustainable fashion in your respective domains. Tracy, I would love if you could start.
Yeah. As of right now, the whole concept of digital fashion and its utility for the fashion industry is still very small, very niche. Like a lot of my company as well as a lot of our competitors are still in the education phase, right? Like telling the executives, like this is what you can do with it, like this is how you can transform your company and how much waste you can reduce along with time and cost, so on and so forth. So for the next few years, like I foresee, it's still going to educate the public, educate the industry. Although from last year until now, we are seeing executives starting to ask the right questions, which is a good sign. It's moving slowly, but it's moving. And there's no one solution that can really make the whole fashion industry sustainable. It has to be multiple solutions coming together. And to be quite honest, digital is not, like really going to make a lot of, or turn fashion sustainable. On-demand manufacturing, I think ultimately there has to be government regulations. One thing that it's a crazy thing. So my friend and I we spoke about this yesterday, right? If you're buying and selling real estate, you need a license for it. For me, I feel like a lot of fashion designers coming out, or even people who are not even trained as a fashion designer, they're able to make clothes with no understanding of a certain type of fabrication, blended fibers, and what type of implications it has on the environment. To be quite honest, like one thing that would really change the game it's government regulations, like maybe designers should have a license to produce fashion when they do truly understand, like how much CO2 they're putting out, like the fibers that they're putting into the waste, like what all that waste that's going to go into the ocean. So with that said, yeah, we're changing. I'm hoping to change maybe a small part of it, make the supply chain more efficient. But other than that, yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Thank you so much. Marta, parting notes, please.
Well, as I said, I'm designing the game on the subject, and I'm very excited about it, and I have a lot of fun, and I see that there's so much happening in the area now, both fashion innovation and sustainability, and games that are finally getting together. So let's see. It needs to be quite agile, but it's a lot about education, but education in a fun way. So I'm really positive.
How soon should we expect it to be out?
Sorry?
How soon should we expect it? How soon should we expect it to be out, and how soon can we try it out, your game?
Well, I can't say, because I was hoping at the beginning that it will be much quicker and it will be out now, but a few more months. I don't
trust. I will be looking for
that day. We don't have it yet. It's a bit of testing, and as I said, it's my first game, and there was a bit of pivoting on the beginning. So yeah,
looking forward
longer next year.
Best of luck to both of you. Thank you so much, and it was amazing talking to both of you. I will definitely keep in touch after this as well.